Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. We're out of the classroom today, paying a little office visit. And for the subject of these lectures, we're going to take a look at just one page here. Pretty interesting. One page, four stanzas, Dover Beach by Matthew Arnold. And of note, this poem is widely recognized as for being very representative of the Victorian age, of realism that we see. And we're starting to see, as we move into this new movement, some differentiations and changes from Romanticism. So let's take a look at the first stanza and kind of break it down and try to uncover what's going on here at Dover Beach. Well, first off, what does the title tell us? It tells us the setting, where we are at the beach. The sea is calm tonight. The tide is full. The moon lies fair. Upon the straits on the French coast, the light gleams and is gone. We started off nice there, had a little picture. And again, one of the differences with the Victorians and realism is that no longer is nature a catalyst for the sublime. It's just there. The sea is calm tonight. The tide is full. It's just there. The moon lies fair upon the straits on the French coast. The light gleams and is gone. Did you notice that? Very softly, right? The light was there, but now it's gone. What happens? Darkness starts to come in. The cliffs of England stand glimmering and vast out in the tranquil bay. Come to the window. It was an invitation. So here the speaker is not alone. He or she has someone with them. Come to the window. Sweet is the night air. Right? So the window's open. Setting becomes clearer. Window's open, looking out of the window. Only from the long line of spray where the sea meets the moon-blanched land. Listen, you hear the grating roar of pebbles which the waves draw back and fling at their return up the high strand, begin and cease, and then again begin. So what's being described here is right. Come to the window. Do you hear that? So what do they hear? Of course, we know we're at the beach, and everybody knows that sound of the wave, the crashing, right, of the waves, and then the waves pull back, and then goes back and forth, and just over and over and over again. But how is this described? It's not being described as something peaceful and tranquil like most people associate with the beach, but instead it's a grating roar. Ooh, like a grating sound of like fingers on the chalkboard sound. So what's making that sound literally, it's just the pebbles of the beach being drawn back and forth, back and forth. Now here what's interesting is that many people, that sound at the beach of the waves crashing, it could be a moment for transcendence, right? Elevation of self, seeking the sublime, as we had with Wordsworth and the Romantics, Shelley, Keats, all those poets. But note here, with tremulous cadence slow, and bring the eternal note of sadness in. Ooh, yes, that sublimity, transcendence is gone. Instead, what? A note of sadness it brings in. Not just any note, but an eternal note of sadness. This is a different way of looking at the world, of seeing nature, and what does it reveal? Sophocles, long ago. Who is Sophocles? You might want to give that a quick Google if you did not already. Sophocles was a Greek playwright in ancient Greece. You might have read Oedipus or Antigone. Those were some works by Sophocles. He lived a long time ago, thousands of years ago. Sophocles long ago heard it on the Aegean, which is the sea around Greece, and it brought into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. So Sophocles, when he heard this sound, it didn't elevate him, right? What did it teach him? It brought into his mind the cycle, the unending spin, the grinding, the grating roar of human misery. We find also in the sound a thought, hearing it by this distant northern sea. We also, in the sound, find a thought. What could this thought be? Next stanza tells us. The sea of what? Faith, right? The sea of faith was once too at the full, and round earth's shore lay like the folds of a bright girdle furled. So Matthew Arnold here, the poet, is recognizing that at one time people were people of faith. But what has happened? If you remember to the overview of the Victorian age of realism, that there were some influential thinkers, right? The works of especially Charles Darwin, right? What did that do? It challenged people's outlook on life with scientific discoveries, with geology, and the uncovering of dinosaur fossils, and all those animals were extinct, and people were started to ask questions that were a little uncomfortable. It's like, well, why would God create things if they only become extinct? Not, die like everything dies, but then, that species continues. Why would this be? So people during this time, during the Victorian age, started to pick up this sense of loss of faith. This sense of doubt becomes one of the hallmarks, one of the emblems of the Victorian age, as well as realism. So this faith was once full, just like the tide here where we are was once full, but now it's starting to retreat. But now I only hear its melancholy, long withdrawing roar. So that the sound of the waves coming back for the speaker here at Dover Beach is the sound that faith makes as it's drawing away from us. Well, why would faith draw away from us? Because we're full of disbelief. We're questioning, retreating to the breath of the night wind down the vast edges drear and naked shingles of the world. The sense of loss, it starts to permeate throughout this view. We have one more stanza that we'll tackle in the next video.